Alright, welcome in. I'm the Kodiak, and today I'm here to talk about Sneed going to the Tennessee Titans. But at the same time, I think this is absolutely hilarious because it spurned a division rival, and it's always funny when stuff like that happens, and that's pretty much what happened here with the Tennessee Titans. They got Sneed, and the Colts did not. But for Tennessee, this shows that Ran Carthon is not only putting all his chips in the Levis basket, but the Brian Callahan basket too, and saving the franchise after the hole that J-Rob put them in on his way out. Trading AJB single-handedly dismantled this franchise, but as a Broncos fan who has dealt with arguably the worst GM in the league over the past 3 years, I am very jealous of Carthon. I'm very jealous that Tennessee has this guy underneath their wing and that he can lead them to, if he can lead them to what I think he can, then this will be an absolute masterclass by him. But this is a pretty smart move by Tennessee because this whole offseason, the theme of this offseason has been centered around Will Levis. And if you believe you have your franchise guy, or at least will give someone the opportunity to be your franchise quarterback, you got to put a competent team around them. Pay up for a guy like Calvin Ridley. Use your cap space. I mean, I don't think the NFL is as hard as we make it out to be, but I don't think Levis is good, but I want him to be because I want all these guys to succeed. But I think what Tennessee is building is pretty solid. And for the Titans, the only real concerns you have are, one, the O-line, and two, the entire defensive line minus Jeffrey Simmons. And I mean, I guess they could use inside linebacker help too, but maybe free safety, but I don't really know. I think they'll fix all their holes, and they're building a pretty talented roster, but I want to talk about how hilarious it is that the Colts did not get him first if you're a Titans fan, because while it has to be great that you got him, it has to be even better that the Colts didn't get him. Chris Ballard has way too many critics, and this will not help him. This is laughably low compensation because the Kansas City Chiefs had no leverage. Once Chris Jones signed, the writing was kind of on the wall for Sneed. You weren't going to be able to keep both of them, as much as I'm sure Veach and Reed would have liked to. And the play style that Sneed has gone through over the course of his career, he's transformed from a physical corner to one who can actually lock down the opposing wide receiver. And yes, he could still do that while he was a physical corner, but he was much better at dropping back. And you already have Trent McDuffie. You had two physical corners who could not only cover and blitz, who are very versatile. So Spagnuolo leads them to the Super Bowl off the backs of their secondary. And yeah, Ballard would have liked to have given out contracts to their homegrown guys, and that's what he does. So he keeps talent that makes them go 9-8 every year, and their secondary got picked apart by guys like Taylor Heineke, PJ Walker, Jake Browning, Aiden O'Connell, and Derek Carr. I get the hesitancy on not paying defensive backs, especially one who's 27 years old, who won't be playing opposite McDuffie anymore, or with Brian Cook when he comes back from his injury, or Justin Reed, because this, very much like running back, corner is a position that ages very poorly. In my opinion, toughest position to play besides quarterback. You lose one step and you're done. And corner play / coverage is wildly inconsistent from a year-to-year basis, and stats don't really track well when it comes to corners. For example, Surtain and Sauce Gardner are probably the two best corners in the league, but they don't have the best stats in the league. And Ballard decides that he can't pay Sneed $19 million a year for 4 years, and if they're just going to run it back with who they have, plus probably a rookie first or a second-round corner, since they have to address it in the draft now, he's going to get absolutely picked on when they start. But I love this move by the Tennessee Titans just because you're getting a very formidable back end of your secondary. Not back end, but you know what I mean. You're getting two very formidable guys with Awuzie and Sneed. And this defense is going to be locked down in the AFC South. For example, maybe you're going to double Michael Pittman. I mean, you can't really with Josh Downs, but here's how this impacts the rest of the division. When you have guys like Nico Collins, Tank Dell, Michael Pittman, Josh Downs, and I mean, I guess for Jacksonville, Gabe Davis is there now too. But Evan Ingram, let's just say, it is going to be very difficult to contain all those weapons, and you kind of need to invest in the defense because this is a division that has really been lacking on the defensive side of the ball over the past decade or so. I know that this division has been pretty weak for the past decade as a whole, besides the Colts when they had Andrew Luck. But yeah, I just think that the idea behind trading for Sneed just showcases that this team is going to be here to play. This team is going to be here to stay. And even if they can't win games with Levis, what did they do? They invest in the defense, and they invested in the run game this year with Tony Pollard, and they're going to draft an offensive line, presumably at 7th overall, too. So I'm really excited for what the Tennessee Titans are building. It has to be very sweet, and enjoy it now, because if the season comes around and you guys are not as good, you're going to have 5 months of actual genuine excitement to look back on. So, and that's arguably more sweeter to me as a fan when I was a Broncos fan and we traded for Russell Wilson. Honestly, the offseason and those 6 months leading up to the idea that we could be legit contenders again, that made me more excited than anything, even though, I don't know, that might be a backwards way of thinking. But yeah, that does it for me, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.